This made me rethink photography, specifically photography in my day-to-day. A few months ago, my fiance brought me to a photo exhibit in Korea. It was called the Anonymous Project, and it articulated and embodied so much of what makes me pursue photography and videography. It's an intentionally curated collection of a few thousand photos from a pool of over 500,000. I've tried to write my own summary of the ideas behind the exhibit, but I can't think of anything that tops the original source material, so here are some quotes. From the website, collecting and preserving unique color slides from the last 70 years, the project was born out of a desire to preserve this collective memory and give a second life to the people often forgotten in these timeless moments captured in stunning Kodachrome color. From the period of the early 1950s, when prices for color photography had dropped to where it became accessible to non-professionals, to the rise of digital cameras, color photography soon developed into the dominant medium to capture daily life. Not just weddings and graduations, or friends posing for friends, or families gathering for portraits, but everything. These amateur photographs are a kaleidoscopic diary of that era, all the more fascinating and arresting because of their unpolished quality. Often funny, surprising, and touching, these images tell the stories of all our lives. From Lee Shulman. By preserving this important part of our shared experience,
we learn a lot about each other and our differences, but more importantly, to a greater degree, we learn about our shared humanity. Through these images, we learn that our need for love, laughter, intimacy, and celebration are what binds us all.
The website also has a video, and in that video it says,
we're trying to tell stories with these images, so the idea being that we look for images that are stories within themselves, and together we put them together to kind of create new stories.
From the exhibit itself, people pose with their families, friends, pets, and cars. Some are high on excitement, while others are asleep. As we have seen, the honest scenes taken in every corner of a house suggest an answer to what makes a house a home, and that the people who live in them make it a home. It's not the project's purpose to miss the analogous days from the digital era, nor to think about the past days wallowing in nostalgia. It is to show that we are connected over space and time by engaging with precious scenes taken with loved ones, brought back to life through the films and light, the times we paused. Lee Shulman states that the photography method may change, but the intent and ritual of the photographers remain the same. What do the photos you took today contain? How will this record live on afterwards? We also may return to anonymity after some time, but the happy memories you recorded today may allow someone in the distant future to fall in love once more. It hit me during my walk through the exhibit that this is exactly what has been fueling my pursuit of both photo and video. It's always been about pausing moments in time with the intention to capture the emotion of it, the story of it, and it just felt great knowing that these sentiments are shared by others around the world. I left feeling rejuvenated and inspired. I knew that I had to get my hands on my own set of slides and immediately began searching online. Didn't really have a plan of what to do with them, but I just wanted to get my own. I ended up buying a set of 24 on Etsy from a seller named Quimby's Closet. Initially, I'd wanted to see if I could find anything with Koreans in it, but unfortunately the search came up empty. Regardless, I was excited to open up the package when it finally came. The timing was perfect too. Sandmark actually reached out again miraculously and sent me a macro 100mm lens to test out, but my initial plan of trying it as a portrait lens for the iPhone didn't work out because of a very specific focus distance, so I had no idea what I was going to shoot. Taking photos of these slides seemed like a perfect use case for the lens. And to aid in the process of taking these photos, I also bought this Kodak light pad from Amazon. So everything went relatively according to plan. I did have to troubleshoot using the lens though, as it only focuses at a specific distance and I couldn't get close enough. I found that I could actually get closer with the built-in macro lens of the iPhone, but I actually got so close that I could see the iPhone's reflection in the photo, and I also noticed that the image was more processed. Once everything was dialed in, however, the process was incredibly tranquil and enjoyable. I understood what Lee meant when he said bringing up a slide to the light made it come to life. Now, unfortunately, overall, I didn't really have the same reaction to the slides I bought. It was cool to go through them, and I can absolutely make connections like spending time with loved ones, old homes, or appreciating nature, but for some reason, I didn't really feel anything beyond that. Thinking about it though, Lee's team has curated a few thousand images from a pool of 500,000. Now, this may simply suggest that not all photos are equal, or it may suggest that the lasting impression I had from the exhibit came from the narratives derived from intentional groupings of photos. The storytelling in conjunction with a physical sense of space, the music, and experiencing the exhibit alongside other people. I didn't consume my set of photos in remotely the same way, nor did I have other sets of photos to connect these ones to. And interestingly, I kept on thinking these photos don't mean anything to me. I don't see anything in them that reflects my life, my inner circle, me. It was all still worth it though, because I found myself enjoying the process more than the result. I was just left feeling that I would love to do this more often, but with photos that I've taken, which makes me think I need to get into film photography. So if you want to teach me, hit me up, please. If anything, this gave me more appreciation though for the efforts behind the Anonymous project, specifically its capacity for storytelling and its implementation of writing, music, and physical space as a means of bringing photos to life. It's truly inspiring, and I would highly recommend checking it out. Now, the main topic of this video, this made me rethink photography. I think there's actually a number of different directions that my mind was going. The experience really made me sit down and pause and consider a couple of things about photography in general. The first being, how do I want to experience my photos? Is looking at them on my computer screen or phone screen enough? Should I be trying to print them? And if I print them, does it stop there? Is that enough? Should I be trying to curate spaces in my own home in order to experience them fully? I think based on this exhibit, I'm leaning towards yes, but again, I don't know if that's realistic in the space that I currently live in. But I never really thought about this stuff. I think I was just fine with looking at them on my phone, but now I'm realizing maybe that's not the best way to do it, because I've also realized there are a ton of moments that I'm not actively engaging with or recalling, or I don't have a good way of looking back on old photos. Now, for the other aspects I've been rethinking, we have to return to Shulman's questions. What do the photos you took today contain, and how will this record live on afterwards? I think the content's worth dwelling on for a moment, although if you know my content and engage with my content, I'm sure this may be second nature for you at this point. But regardless, as I look through the photos I've taken in the past few months, I see very similar themes. I see memories of time spent with the people I consider friends and family. I see sights that I consider beautiful, and also photos that bring me back to a peaceful walk with friends or amongst the trees tucked away between families. I'm actually pretty happy with how I've been using my camera, which is a good sign, but I also think this is probably something worth revisiting months later to see if I'm still in that same space. If you haven't thought about this in a minute, maybe it's something you should set on to. Now, the second question kind of overlaps with that first point about how do I want to experience my photos, but it's more specifically about archiving photos. How will this record live on afterwards is interesting to me because everything seems to be digital and to a degree fake, as we carefully select highlights from our lives to share on social media. And then even if we were to choose to share our most intimate moments, is social media the best way? Do we even have alternatives? How will a future Lee Shulman find the files to create a collection? How will that collection be displayed and or experienced? Are our shitty phone photos the best chance we have at preserving our everyday moments? Honestly, I struggle to answer any of these questions, and I'm compelled to find a solution quickly because I now realize that the main way I'm currently archiving my photos in the depths of oceans of digital folders or in the tiniest of crevices in my iCloud photo album is in no way adequate. I really wish I had more concrete thoughts on this, but I've been experiencing some stupid brain fog as of late. The main reason I'm posting this and putting it out there is because I just thought it was fascinating how this experience itself from start to finish, including the own set of slides that I bought, really made me rethink photography, not necessarily just the content side of it, because I think I have figured that out along the way, but it really got me thinking about, okay, well, what's next? Am I really just taking photos for the now? And if I'm saying that I'm doing it to capture memories, have I really adequately set things up for me to experience these moments again later on when I find these older memories? I don't think I've done a good job at that. Yes, I have my personal Instagram account, and I think that's a really good first step because at least that gives me somewhere to return to and look through. But then again, with the exhibit, I'm really thinking that I don't know if that's the best way or how I want to revisit these older photos. I don't think that's good enough to really feel again that moment that I wanted to pause. Anyways, I hope you just take this as food for thought. I think it was a fun topic and something that I want to dive in continuously. If this gives you some thoughts that you want to share, please feel free to comment down below, or you can send me a private message on Instagram. As always, thank you for your time and have a wonderful day. Bye.